Time for
DodgerHeads.
Shohei Ohtani, 50-50 club. There's a drive. Shohei Ohtani. Freeman hits the ball. She is gone. Goodbye, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into DodgerHeads Live, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Medium Large Sports Network. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by our friend Scott Geirman, here up early for a Dodgers sweep. Scotty, 2 games, 2 wins, ho-hum. The Dodgers will be leaving Japan undefeated.
Seeing everybody saying the same stuff. 162-0 is still intact. We're on that mindset, Jeff.
It's true. It's true. And look, I don't know if the Cubs stink or the Dodgers are awesome, but I don't want to over-exaggerate 2 games. There was a gap between these 2 teams in the games that we saw.
Yeah, no, absolutely. From what we see, and Jeff, dating back and chat, same thing. It's great to see you guys. It's good to be here. There is a clear, you can tell it's the stuff that we've been talking about for some years, and the stuff that the Dodgers have built in their lineup. It's a menacing lineup to get through. You can just tell the tenacity, the variation of approaches, but from hitter to hitter, it's just a pain, and you can tell in the first and second games of the year. This is a lot for players to get ramped up early on, and you can already tell how frustrating and how, just tough it is to navigate a 1 through 9 with a lineup like this.
Yeah, back-to-back days in which 8 of 9 Dodgers hitters reach base. Yesterday, Kike Hernandez was the only one who didn't. Today, he hits a home run. Today, Teoscar Hernandez, the only guy that doesn't reach base. Everybody else either hits or walks. 7 hits, 7 walks across the lineup. An incredible performance from them. The Dodgers bullpen, not quite as good as yesterday, basically 4 perfect innings, but they threw some names out there. I think a lot of people would have been surprised to know we're pitching in game 2 of the regular season. And yet on the whole, 6 innings, 2 earned runs for the Dodgers bullpen ultimately gets that job done. So the Dodgers again beat the Cubs today. 6-3. They will be leaving Japan undefeated. Scott, there's a lot of directions that we can go, but I think we have to start with what was the biggest storyline, which is Roki Sasaki, the phenom that everybody's talking about, the number 1 ranked prospect in Major League Baseball, if you consider him a prospect, makes his debut in the Tokyo Dome in his home country of Japan. His Dodgers debut, Major League debut, all of it. 3 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts. How would you rate what we saw from the Dodgers pitcher?
Honestly, I would say is it tough for me to say it's a C+? Is that okay? He came out first inning and flashed the electric stuff that we all got to see, right when he made his debut with the Dodgers early in spring. And you can tell right away, he's adrenaline up. You could tell nerves were hitting a bit. It's just, that's how it is. And 5 walks there. Strikeout rate, I think, was in the 44 percentile, like 44 percentage, and just not finding the zone. You can tell the stuff is incredible. He's just got to pound the zone. I think a C+ is okay for me to say, but it's an A+ in terms of the stuff just explodes right out of the hand. It does not matter. He's just got to find the zone, put it there, let it speak for itself, work off the secondary stuff there. Made it out alive. That's okay. Made it out.
Yeah, it's on one hand, 3 innings, 1 earned run. If you would have told people that was what was going to happen today, as some people may have told people that was what was going to happen today. But if you had told them 3 innings, 1 earned run, they would have been okay with it. For a debut, Ohtani talking about the pressure playing in Japan. This is a guy who's played in massive games and the World Series and the World Baseball Classic, etc. So for a young kid to be making his debut and feeling that same pressure of being in Japan, I think it would have made sense. But I think I'd probably go a solid B. Yes, the walks are concerning, but the stuff, the ability to limit damage, and again, just 1 hit, 1 earned run for him. But control's the question. I think the stat was 11 of 14 batters he faced got ball 1 on the first pitch, and you just can't do that in the major leagues. As good as his stuff is, he was able to survive with stranding a bunch of guys, a good luck double play early on in the game, the bases loaded situation at the end. So he survives, but kind of, I think survive is the right word. I don't think he dominated anybody tonight. I think he was good at moments. He survived at other moments. And, again, for his debut, I don't think there's anything to complain about there.
Yeah, it's okay. Like, this is okay. People are, you can see the stuff. This is not anything. I see someone say it's just his third time. Absolutely. Like, you got to take every factor into account when talking about Roki Sasaki. He's 23 years old, and with all you would have seen perhaps Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow make this start, but it's Roki Sasaki pitching in the Tokyo Dome in front of a huge crowd. Like, they got to see him grow up. Like, this part of the world got to see Roki Sasaki grow up and pitch. So there's just an immense amount of pressure on him to pitch, and this is someone that he's going to come into his own. This is a fine outing for him. It's okay. It limited the damage, and that's all we can ask for.
We do have the one other person that he was pitching in front of is Blake Williams, who's live with us again from the Tokyo Dome. Blake, Scott's already putting his teacher's hat on, and he's a tough grader. We got a C+ for Roki Sasaki today. How would you rate what you saw from the Dodgers rookie?
A C+ seems fair. I might go with a B- for him, just because it was his first start. The stuff looked really good overall. We could have expected some nerves, and I think that played into the lack of command. But overall, it wasn't what the start Yamamoto had last year, and it wasn't an amazing start. So, right there, somewhere in the middle, a quality outing for his first big series here. A lot going on, a lot of emotions for him, I'm sure. So I'd go B- for him.
B-. All right. So I think we got some sound stuff dialed in there, Blake. There was some settings we tweaked, so I think we're better now. I think going into the numbers a little bit more, Scott, 56 pitches, just 25 of them for strikes, just 34% of those pitches were in the zone. Fastball, 98 miles an hour was the average velocity on the fastball. 101 in the first inning, Scott, but then kind of tailing off throughout the rest of the game. Do you think that was just sort of the nerves, the excitement in inning number one, and then we sort of settled into reality?
I would say so. Some adrenaline there right out the gate. And it's funny that, when he has that most adrenaline there, his stuff was playing in the zone and was locked in as much as it could be. So he pulled off a little bit, and maybe he just, they said, hey, let's let the game settle in. Let's let that, go from there and see how if you can kind of keep, dial that back in. You don't need to touch your high velo. See if you can find your secondary stuff here and let it eat. And that's what he did right at the very end. So, people saying C+ might be harsh. It was more so just the command. It's just once he finds that, dials that in, there's going to be no question that him finding, 96, 97, find that average, let just this knuckleball type splitter eat. And it's good to see him work that slider in because he's got it. So I'd like to see him expand on that mix there. Doesn't need to throw 100 all the time. Just that first inning was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, and you see 101 on the gun, 100.5, I think is the exact number, is pretty impressive. And, Blake, when I look at the performance and the numbers, I think he's working on his sound stuff. So I'll come back to you, Scott. But when I look at the splitter, right, this is the pitch that we're expecting he's going to try and dominate people with. He throws 15 splitters. He only got 2 swings, and he only got 1 whiff on that pitch all night. So, again, that was what I said yesterday is my concern with him is if he throws 15 splitters and only gets 2 swings on that pitch, that's kind of where I think this thing could go sideways. It's game 1. I'm not overreacting to a small sample size, but that would be my concern is that guys just lay off the splitter. He's not throwing it, landing it in the zone for strikes. So I don't know where you stand. Are you at all concerned about that? Or do you think this is small sample size? It'll regress to the mean, nothing to worry about.
No, nothing to worry about. Absolutely. I don't think there's anything to worry about. This stuff is good enough for it to be okay. That's why that final inning there, they started working in that slider. He only threw 4 of them, but it was devastating. It looks good. I think the split, it's just finding that tunnel. His fastball metrics aren't elite. Doesn't have the greatest vertical, but I can do vertical break on that. You'll hear IVB a lot, chat. You're smart with that, but he doesn't have the greatest metrics there. but it's about finding that tunnel, and that's what makes it so good. I think it's a pitch. He's got a 2-pitch mix here, 4-seam splitter, where it's good enough for him to just work one off the other. So this is, Jeff, I think I know you're on the same track with this, and you're just asking the question. This is much about nothing. This is him in his first game right here. He's going to build off of that, find it. I'm sure we're going to see just even more incredible stuff the next time around.
Yeah, Blake, Scott mentions the slider. That was what was interesting. We haven't seen a lot of the slider. He only threw 4 of them today, but when he threw them, they were effective. He used the slider to get out of the jam that he walked himself into in the 3rd inning. He throws 4 of them. He gets 2 swings, and both of them were swings and misses. What did you make about kind of how that pitch maybe changed some things for him and helped him to get out of that jam?
Yeah, so the slider's always been it's been a lesser pitch for him. He's really been a fastball splitter guy throughout his career. And that is one of the main things he needed to work on, like adding a 3rd pitch and getting that down, because to be a major league starting pitcher, you're going to need at least 3 pitches, and most of them have 4 or 5 even to work with, if not more. So getting that slider is going to be big for him. He needs to keep working on it. It is like we've talked about Sasaki being a prospect, and there's a lot of developing that he still needs to do. Even though he has 2 elite pitches, he's going to need that 3rd one to really help him get through major league lineups the 3rd time around and through a long season. So if he can keep working on that and getting it down, it's going to be a huge pitch for him, and he's going to need to find something that works for him there.
Yeah, again. And I think the whiff rate, 25% today, guys, is going to be a number that only goes up from here. 18% was the called strike / swinging strike percentage. Those numbers, I think, are going to improve. So again, if he could limit damage with, what I would say from a metrics perspective, a poor performance compared to what I'm hoping and expecting for him moving forward, I think we have good things in our future on that front. Let's shift gears to the offense, because yesterday we saw no home runs from the Dodgers offense. Today we saw 3. Kike Hernandez, Shohei Ohtani, and Tommy Edman all going deep for the Dodgers. Again, Scott, we talked about it from the top. It's only 7 hits. It's only 7 walks. And yet 8 guys reach base. 3 of them hit home runs. You get home runs from Edman and Kike, not necessarily the quote unquote expected guys to get home runs for. These are the days that I think the Dodgers offense is going to have, that is just going to make other fan bases depressed. Because if you can't beat the Dodgers with no Freddie Freeman and no Mookie Betts, because Kike Hernandez and Tommy Edman are hitting home runs, it's going to be tough to stomach.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, we're seeing Will Smith take his walks here. This is first half Will Smith. This is what we need to see there. And that's what I was talking about right at the top of the show, that when Will Smith's correct, when these guys are correct, they're seeing the zone better than any team in Major League Baseball. And that's top to bottom. And then you get Tommy Edman in a plus scenario here against a lefty. You're in Shohei Ohtani doing what he does here. It's just sneaky pop where they need it. I'd like to see Andy Pages hitting a little bit higher up in the lineup. Miguel Rojas batting in the 9 spot. But it's just so many ways for them to attack. And just like this is textbook, 6 runs, and you're getting it with some pop. You're getting Will Smith walking, Max Muncy getting a double here, going to, 2nd and 3rd. It's just a lot of ways for this stuff to work out. Kike Hernandez looked good, manufacturing a run on a sac fly. He gets a pump later in the game. It's just so many ways.
Yeah. Blake, you were there. Ohtani's home run. Are we sure it was a home run?
Yeah, I think that was one where MLB just couldn't overturn it just because the fans might riot on the field if that happened. I did not think it was a homer. I was surprised they called it a homer. But yeah, it's Ohtani's time here in Japan, and they couldn't take that away from him.
Yeah, you weren't able to watch the broadcast. I'll just say Joe Davis definitely thought it was a home run, huh, Scott?
Oh yeah, he had it going. Yeah, that was. I'm gonna go back and watch that before I drift to a sweet nap. Yes.
Yeah, and to be fair, he laughed at himself afterwards. I mean, he called it like that thing was gonna go put a hole through the roof and end up on the street outside, and instead, it maybe goes off the wall. And we still freaking baseball savant. We still got no exit velocity data for that entire half inning for the Dodgers. So Joe Davis can't be vindicated with a 112 off the bat or something like that. So.
I'll say it looked really good off the bat here. It sounded good. I thought it was going to be long gone. I was surprised it would have hit off the wall there or whatever happened with the fan interference there. But yeah, it looked really good off the bat. So some credit to Joe Davis there. Looked better than it ended up being.
It does seem like some of the balls off the bat fell short of where I expected them to. There's been a few where I was like, oh man, that ball got smashed, and yet it seemed to fall short. Have you heard anything about that, Blake?
I haven't heard anything about it, but it is pretty cold in here, so I think that has some effect on it. And we also have to consider it's the same dimensions as Dodger Stadium, but the wall is like double the height, probably. So balls that would be like 4 or 5 rows deep at Dodger Stadium are going to be hitting off the wall here. So
Yeah,
I think that affects our perspective of it a little.
You mentioned the cold. You doing okay up there? Our guy seeing snow for the first time.
Yeah, I had to bring out the flannel today, the fleece kept me warm.
Man.
It's still a little cold, but I got through it.
Is it really the first time you've ever seen snow in person?
I've seen like ice before on the ground, but never like seen snow falling or actual snow you could pick up and like make into a snowball or anything. So
One of one.
and when I saw that like icy condition, I was probably in like 5th grade or something like that. So it's been a while. Yeah.
I love
But
it.
first real time I've seen snow falling.
Seen ice before, though. I love it. Looking through the Dodgers box score real quick. Ohtani 1 for 3, has the home run, 2 walks. Tommy Edman 1 for 5 with the home run. Teoscar, as we said, 0 for 4. Will Smith 1 for 2 with 2 walks. Max Muncy 1 for 4. Kike Hernandez 1 for 3, sac fly, and the 3-run homer. Michael Conforto, a 2-run homer. Michael Conforto 1 for 3 with a walk. Miguel Rojas 0 for 1 with a walk. Andy Pages 1 for 3 with a walk. Before we put this one to bed, guys, Scott, I'll come to you first. 2 games that we have under our belt. None of us are in the business of overreacting to a small sample size of 2 games. But what jumps out to you? You mentioned Will Smith, who I believe has reached base in like 7 out of 9 plate appearances now in 2 games. You mentioned Andy Pages, a guy you'd like to move up in the lineup. Offensively speaking, Scott, what stands out to you from the 2 games that we've seen so far?
This team doesn't even have Mookie Betts or Freddie Freeman playing so far. I know that's the lowest hanging fruit that we can talk about, and I think it's important. You're getting exposure for guys like, Tommy Edman. Teoscar Hernandez is going to bat at the top part of the lineup there, but Tommy Edman is going to continue. I know you guys talked about it, but I think it's important for a lot of these guys to be in leverage spots at different parts of the lineup, and that's something unique, and that's something not every team gets the opportunity to do just based off of, they're 2 superstars on playing. So for a reaction right now, it's that contributor players are getting exposure at spots that, is very important. And I think it's going to have some legs to it for the, going into these next couple weeks here while Mookie Betts gets healthy, Freddie Freeman gets healthy. I think it's going to matter. So we're getting some opportunities for some guys. We're getting some cracks at Kike Hernandez batting it higher up in the order. I just think it's important.
Blake, what about you? Offensively, what jumps out to you from these 2 games?
I like Michael Conforto a lot. I've been high on him throughout the offseason since they signed him. I like what I saw from him. So doing a little narrative pushing right there. I think jokingly to kind of counter Scott, we've called Tommy Edman like the average hitter, and today he homered and then he hit into a double play, like completely average right there. Perfect definition. Yeah, but the offense is good. They've done enough to win both games, and that's without Mookie or Freddie. And that's what I was saying. I think that's huge. The Cubs, they're probably not a playoff team this year, so I'm not putting a ton of stock into anything we're seeing with the personality team out there that the Dodgers had to go out and beat early in the season. They didn't show too much rust or anything. So, we know the offense is going to be a strong point for this team this year, and they're showing it already, even without 2 of their superstars at the top.
Some people are saying that Tommy Edman's gone 1 for 5 in back-to-back games, Blake. I don't know who those people are. I'd have to do some source checking on that. But so just something.
Man, we'll take that in the Dodger lineup.
It's true. The thing that jumps out to me is something we've referenced a couple times. It's just the up and down of this lineup, and every Dodgers fan is spoiled because we're going to sit here and complain about who's batting 8th or 9th until we remember that like Andy Pages would be batting 5th in like half the lineups in Major League Baseball. And he's, 8th and 9th in this lineup, but it's just back-to-back games where 8 guys reach base. I'm not saying that's going to happen every single time, but to the point that everybody's been making, when you add Mookie and Freddie into this lineup, to know that you've got 11 guys out of the 13 hitters on the bench, and I'll let you guess which 2 I'm not referencing here, who can get on base on a pretty consistent basis. I think that's going to go a long way for this team because, yes, it's going to be star power driven. There's going to be days when Shohei Ohtani or Mookie Betts or Freddie Freeman just wins the game all by themselves. But a lot of these, Tuesday night games are going to be scratching and clawing, and the Dodgers are going to scratch and claw better than anybody else offensively. Let's shift to the pitching side of things. Blake, your guy Luis Garcia got in the game today. Congrats. I know you were a big Luis Garcia fan. What'd you make of his Dodgers debut today?
Not sure where that claim is coming from about being a big Luis Garcia fan. I was surprised he even made the trip out here and being on the roster. Yeah, he's a guy who probably won't be on the team for a whole long point in the season, and he was out there covering an inning because it seemed like they didn't want guys going back-to-back days this early.
Yeah, no, I'm messing. Blake is not a Luis Garcia fan. We were texting and saying, why is Luis Garcia warming up in this game in the 4th inning? Ends up giving up a run. Jack Dreyer pitches in this game, gives up a run. Can we talk about this real quick, Scott? Comebacker to the mound off his glove, and we're calling that a base hit. Like, what planet am I from where that's a freaking base hit?
I don't know. Hopefully we get a correction here on that. Yeah.
Get my guy the stupid pitcher unearned run where he makes his own error and then, gives up the run, but it counts unearned. Like, Blake, you're there. Go talk to the official scorer or something.
I don't think we can have too much of a gripe with this because they gave Ohtani a homer. So, like, if they're giving the Cubs a single, I think we can move this.
Okay, well, Jack Dreyer's family would like to see that 0.00 ERA in the box score, even though it was his error. Landon Knack, 2 innings, no earned runs, 3 strikeouts. Kirby Yates, he who apparently I was told struggled in spring training, looked okay today. 2 strikeouts, 7 whiffs on 9 swings. And then Alex Vesia making us sweat a little bit, also celebrating, as Joe Davis said, like it was Game 7 of the World Series. But Scott, I mean, look, I'm just going to give you the floor because I know a couple of those guys are guys that you're a big fan of. So talk me through the bullpen today.
Kirby Yates looks spectacular, but also Blake can talk about Landon Knack. Landon Knack looked disgusting. Yeah. He had 7 whiffs. Like his changeup looked incredible. It was one of those where it was just like, again, throw it again. Like it's just, he looks so good. Like I want to get Blake's thoughts on this because you guys both been in the spring. Like I want to know Landon Knack's maturation here and just what he did, has his lumps and takes his lumps into playoffs, wears it just like you have to do. And he's a guy. This is a multi-inning reliever. Like if he's not starting, you could put him in the bullpen. You need a couple innings. You need some length. You're not just getting some fuddy-duddy innings. You're getting someone with elite stuff. You can find some whiff. He looks good. He looks confident. And Blake's going to bring up that story about him needing to pitch angry because he looks up there like he's got a chip on his shoulder, and he looked awesome.
Blake, do you agree that there's nothing fuddy-duddy about Landon Knack today?
I don't know if I can agree with that because I don't know what that term actually means.
Oh, man.
But he looked really good. I think the thing that shocked me with Landon Knack and his development is throughout the entire time he was a prospect, he was always projected he'd be like a back-of-the-rotation swingman type pitcher who maybe going to fit in like as a 5th starter. But he's developed more velocity. His stuff has got better for his entire time in the minor leagues. And he's really looking like a guy who can be more of an impact piece than just a 5th starter, kind of guy who rotates between AAA and the major leagues when you need an arm here and there. And that's been huge for him. We've kind of seen that in the past. The Dodgers did a similar thing with Ross Stripling, where he was always just kind of that fringe type starting pitcher. And then he went on to have an all-star season one year. So I feel like Landon Knack could be that type of pitcher, and it seems like he could have more impact than just being an emergency starter for this team.
Yeah, that was the piece that surprised me. Even when we were building out the back end of the bullpen, I didn't really consider Landon Knack a real threat for one of those spots, mostly because I was like, he's a good starter. I've been high on Landon Knack for a few years now. I just didn't necessarily see him being the type of guy who could come in and, as Scott said, be filthy for 2 innings in a relief role. And part of it is the Tony Gonsolin piece where a guy who has like a decent fastball but a nasty changeup is never going to be like the sexiest pick for a pitcher who's going to be effective. And yet he was really effective today. And somebody pointed out, Kevin on Twitter pointed out the IVB. We talk about Alex Vesia, Jack Dreyer, guys who have an induced vertical break on their fastball of 20 inches. So it looks like it's rising because it isn't falling as much as you would think. Landon Knack was at 20 inches today of IVB on his fastball. So if you pair that with a changeup that's falling off the table, you can see how those 2 pitches work well together. But Scott, I think to just put a bow on this, no Mookie Betts, no Freddie Freeman. Sasaki gives them 3 innings. and then they throw Garcia, Dreyer, Knack, Yates, and Vesia, and they win. Like this is the B lineup, the B bullpen, a starting pitcher who only gives them 3 innings. And this game, although the tying run came up at the last batter, never felt like it was really hanging in the balance.
You're leaving a trip to Tokyo without having to stress your pitching staff, without having to strain any offense here. You're able to get some easy power, stuff where you need to see it, stuff that we expect. And you don't have Mookie Betts, don't have Freddie Freeman. Good times are ahead. It's 2-0. They got 2 more wins than anybody else in Major League Baseball. So I'm very pleased with how this international trip went. Like it went as good as it can.
Yeah, and I see BC saying Vesia and Yates counts as the B team. I mean, no, in most places, but yesterday they had Tanner Scott and Blake Trinan. Evan Phillips and Michael Kopech aren't even healthy yet. Like on this team, that might be your second choice for the 8th inning, 9th inning guys. Blake, before we get to, people have a lot of food questions for you, as you can imagine. But before we get to that, any final thoughts? You're in Tokyo. You've been around the team on kind of this 2-game series before everybody gets home.
Yeah, I think the sense from the players is a lot of them have really enjoyed just being out here and exploring the city. Like the Dodgers are obviously very popular out here, and that was very apparent for all the fans out here. Like it was a really fun trip that I didn't hear any negatives about. I was talking to Landon Knack about it, and he was saying like he could see himself living out here because it's just such an amazing city. He's a big food guy, so you might want to talk to him about that next time he's on our show. He tried the sea urchin, and he said it was like the best thing he's had. And yeah, so at the Dodger team dinner, they had tables for like people who want to try everything, people who want to try some things, and people who are like sticking to their Wagyu beef type thing, like where I'd be sitting.
Was there a chicken nuggets table somewhere at the Dodgers team dinner?
They should have had one, but I don't think so. But yeah, so he tried the sea urchin. He loved that. Miguel Rojas, we talked to him. He was out there like at all the stores and checking out the city. And yeah, it's just been a great trip, and all the players seem to have really enjoyed it.
I love it. Scott, before we get to Blake and check in on our guy who it's been a while since he's eaten, so I don't want to make him too hungry with food questions, but what are you taking away? I mean, you and I weren't there. We just watched these 2 games. We listened to the interviews, that kind of a thing. But what are you taking away, 8 or 9 days before domestic opening day?
They look very comfortable.
Yeah.
They look like they are settled in. They look like they're prepared. A short, like a very long regular season, postseason, a short off season with a lot of fanfare again. And this roster, this organization looks comfortable. They look settled in, Jeff. I think that we can feel it. You can see it. And they're playing with an ease that they have done. They have been there. They have done that. And they look primed and ready to go. Like they're not just going to let it, the season just roll along. They look ready to go.
Yeah, I love it. There's a girl right over Blake's shoulder. Hopefully this isn't on speaker, who just looked at she's staring at the computer right now, figured out she was on camera, and then slowly eased herself behind the lady next to her. Fantastic stuff. Let's get to some super chats. Laura says, great to see you, Scott. You are missed. We agree. It's good to have Scott back hopping on with us in the morning. Tim says, great to see you, Scott, back in the saddle. Miggy Rowe's defense was key in this game. Roki was okay for a debut. Better than Yamamoto, similar to Skeen's debut. But Miguel Rojas, couple nice plays, including the last out of the game, Scott. We know that's what he brings to the table. So when the offense is what it is, you like to see a couple plays like that to remind you why he's out there.
Correct. Save some outs there, Miguel Rojas. Let's drop you down to the 9 hole. Let's figure it out how you can get on base there. I'm not saying stop swinging, but let's put something in the air sometimes. Let's not put it on the ground. I know no DP balls here. Let's make it a little bit tougher on the opposing team.
Yeah. Although I will say Miguel Rojas's relay throw home will not be going on any Miguel Rojas highlight plays.
No, sir.
It looked like a 12-year-old. The arc that thing had, and then lands 10 feet over the head of Will Smith. So Idle Rose says, Blake, have you tried the Lawson tuna sandwich? It's delicious. Jeff, convenience stores are in Japan. Get fresh food made daily. They're legit. I was actually told by a friend, said, hey, if your buddy Blake is out there, ask if he's been to 7-Eleven yet, because of this exact thing. They said that the convenience stores are where like a lot of people eat. You've tried the egg salad sandwich. I'm not sure if that's what this person's referring to or if there's also a tuna sandwich, but take it away.
There is also a tuna sandwich. I have not had that. But yeah, I had the egg salad 2 or 3 times. Really good. I don't know why. It's hard to explain. It's just really good. And they have like chicken sandwiches and a bunch of fresh food there, like people have been saying. So yeah, a bunch of great items there. I've made a few 7-Eleven trips so far.
Do you think this is the only time in history that you and Anthony Bourdain, who raves about these egg salad sandwiches, do you think it's the only time that the two of you have ever like stacked hands on a food opinion?
No, because my food opinions are always right. So if he's such an acclaimed food critic, then he'll have some similar ones to me.
Rest in peace, Anthony Bourdain. You probably have no idea who he is, right?
Wasn't he on Food Channel or something?
Yeah. Okay, there you go. There you go. Scott, Laura wants to know, are we more concerned about Mookie or Freddie?
It's a good question. I'm going to say Freddie. I'm just going to say Freddie. Anything that involves surgically repaired stuff, that's a thing. I think Mookie Betts, just give him some time. It's unbelievable. Once all the stuff came out about virus and all the weight he lost there, the video he saw, he looked just out of it. So I think that's just time. Give him some time to eat. Give him some time to get better, rest, stay hydrated, and then go from there. But with Freddie, just like I said, anything that involves surgically repaired stuff there. I know he was dealing with the rib that sparked up there. I'm glad he didn't appear. I know that sucks as far as getting Freddie Freeman out there. Just they took care of business.
Totally. And to be clear, there was no surgery on Freddie Freeman's ribs, but an injury that lingers to me is far more concerning than an illness. Obviously, hopefully it's just, I guess it's hard to say it's a minor illness if it's been a couple of weeks and he lost 15 pounds. But Blake, for me, I'm hopeful that Dr. Neil Elatrash, who said that it's just scar tissue, that this is kind of a normal part of the healing process. But if I had to choose between these two, Blake, I think I would lean Freddie.
I don't think I'm really concerned about either of them too much. I think if I had to pick one, I'm going with Mookie. And it's for the reason that he lost 15 pounds and he is a smaller guy already. So to lose 15 pounds from his already like smaller stature, like it's going to be tougher for him to build that back up during the season, I think. And I'm a little concerned with how it'll affect his power, but overall it is probably something he can get back from at some point. I just don't know how long it's going to take. It might be a month, might be 2 months. We'll see. But like, I think that is a concern for him.
Yeah. Steven Toe says, glad to see DodgerHeads up early for game coverage. Yes. Glad to see everybody else up with us. At least today's, I think, started with, I guess it was technically still starting with the 5 right before the hour when we started this one. But we appreciate everybody. Almost 1,500 people in here live with us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. We greatly appreciate you. As always, if you're new, please go ahead, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. We do 3 live shows a week at night, Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, and Sunday nights, as well as some interviews and shorts that get posted in the mornings throughout the week as well. So if you're new, subscribe, ring the notification bell. If you're a podcast person, we have those as well. Apple, Spotify, Google, all of our shows, the longer form ones, eventually get posted to those podcast platforms as well. So just search DodgerHeads. Please subscribe, rate, review. We'd greatly appreciate that. Hawaiian Kira, another super chat. Glad this was a 2-game series. Don't think I would survive a 3-peat. Thanks for having post games. Baseball is back. Scott, could you have done a third morning in a row with a 3 a.m. wake up call? I don't think I could.
No. The first one was a stretch. I conked out in the 4th inning. Yeah, yesterday I was out. I was sitting there, Apple TV remote in hand, and I was out. Today we were ready to go, prepared, went to sleep early. Kira, good to see you. I couldn't do one more.
Yeah. Are you a coffee guy, Scott?
I'm a big coffee. I'm an espresso guy. I'm a huge espresso guy.
So what are we working with this morning? Are we already like deep in? We got
nothing yet. Nothing too early. I can't get the engine going too that early. We're gonna get water hydrated, electrolytes, and then we're get the espresso around like 8 o'clock.
That's impressive. I mean, I was pumping myself full of ice cold Americano at freaking 3:02 a.m. this morning. We wouldn't be upright right now without an Americano in the system. And then Blake over here looks fully rested. It's like the evening for him, although you're on a hunger strike, Blake.
Hunger strike. Yes, he is. Hunger strike.
Yeah, so I ate at 12 for like a lunch breakfast type thing, and then I got to the stadium at like 3 or 4, and like by the time I got hungry, all the lines were crazy long. So I haven't had anything to eat since 12, and it's 10:30 here. So yeah.
What's going to be open post game? Are we like, is this a McDonald's Taco Bell situation?
Taco Bell closes at 10, so no, I had Taco Bell for lunch. I
Oh,
did
you
do that.
did?
It's right by
Okay,
the
hold on.
stadium. I
We
did,
got to get
yeah.
the review. Everybody told you it was different.
Yeah, it was pretty similar. They had a much smaller menu. The only real difference I noticed was like the cheese was real instead of like fake cheese that they use in the US. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty similar.
Okay. Did you get any
Kind
of
of
those chicken
disappointing there.
nuggets that Scotty? Who is it? Is it you or Scott that loves the chicken nuggets?
They took them
We
away.
both do.
Oh,
Okay. So they're gone already?
Yeah, I
Tragic.
think they're bringing them back at some point, but for now they're not.
Okay.
Not in
you got
stores.
Blake. You have to go hunt for some good stuff. There's some, and people are chat's keeping you honest. There's stuff that's amazing open late out there. Like just venture around. I'm sure there's something that you could get that you'll like, man. That has to be.
I mean, I've done barbecue twice. I had a chai latte earlier today, so that was good.
Ooh.
It says
I
it
mean,
like it's a Japanese like delicatessen. He's like, no. I had an authentic chai
One
latte
of one,
here.
baby.
I
Blake
did.
Williams, man.
When you say
I-
barbecue, are those the skewers or is that different?
No, like actually going barbecuing.
Okay. Got
Um, I got it recommended by one of our viewers. I think it was Ricky that sent me a whole list. So I went to one of those who recommended me. Uh, they didn't have chicken. A little disappointed. So yeah,
Okay. We got the skewers. Is that what yakitori or whatever? Like, I feel like that's a big thing. So maybe we could try and find you some skewers before you hit the plane.
maybe I think 7-Eleven had them, so maybe I can check them out there because apparently, like, it is the best food place out here for everyone. But yeah, I think the only place I've actually had chicken was when Tim, who is in our chat right now, took me out to Jonathan's with the robot servers there, and I got teriyaki chicken. So yeah, I mean, a lot of beef.
You poor thing, suffering through all the Wagyu beef over there. Scott, can you believe this guy?
I can't believe he's complaining about having Wagyu. This is amazing. He's
Yeah.
one of one. I
I'm
gotta
not
get him.
complaining. I'm just saying I like chicken.
Yesterday, I believe the quote was, I've had to have a lot of Wagyu and it's no chicken. I believe was like the quote that we got from you yesterday.
Something like that, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Blake, we appreciate you hopping on live with us. We appreciate you, suffering through all the food in Japan for us. And are you on a plane tomorrow?
No, I leave the 21st in Japan, so
Okay,
yes.
you got some time.
Like
Do we
7
do
p.m.
Disneyland over there?
Tomorrow. Is the
Okay.
plan.
Okay, somebody said something about Star Wars and the Lost Boys, and you have to make a reservation in the chat.
Yeah, I will look into that.
It's a store, they said. So you could scroll up in the chat. Somebody said something. I wasn't sure if you were making it. So enjoy the rest of your time, Blake. Enjoy Japan. I've heard awesome things, and the coverage has been great as always. So thank you. Scott, thank you for hopping on early morning with us. We'll let you continue with your day, get a pumpkin spice latte firing off in the system here in a couple hours. And you know it. The invitation is always open and extended. So it's glad to have you on. We're glad to have you on here this morning.
Oh man, it's great to be here. Blake, love you, buddy. Appreciate you. Blake's a real one. He picked Nora up a special Hello Kitty out there, and he's gonna have it safe and secured. So I appreciate that. I want to say thank you, chat. I love you guys. Yeah, Jeff, man. We'll be in touch. We'll get this thing going, and we'll see you. We'll make some stuff happen.
Love it. I love it. Well, everybody, we appreciate you getting up early to watch the Dodgers and then stay awake to see us. Hopefully some people have some naps or at least some caffeine in their future. Again, Dodgers win 6-3. Roki Sasaki's major league debut. Shohei Ohtani hits a home run. It was a full day in day number 2 of Dodgers baseball, and it's only 6:37 a.m. here on the West Coast. So enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Again, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Check out DodgerBlue.com for a full game recap. Dodger Blue 1958 on social media everywhere. Enjoy your day. As always, go Dodgers.